Welcome to our Two Posh podcast. I'm Gabrielle. I'm here with my daughter Marcella.
Hello.
And my buddy Bernie.
Hello.
And our spider.
Hello.
And whoever has not listened to our show before, we are a mother-daughter team, and we have our male counterpart with us that always bounces off each other, and then Spider is our
I'm
DJ.
The they.
What are you?
I'm a they.
And that helps us with everything and sometimes throws in some really cool music. And we want to ask everyone to please subscribe, follow us on all social media venues and podcasts. We are like on every podcast hosting site there is, and also have a YouTube channel. So please subscribe, push that button so you always get notified if we have a new show. Wanted to preface this first, and this show will be about another part to the pre-marriage checklist because we find it super important. We had no idea.
You got to go back and listen to the first ones you got.
Yes.
It's really good.
Is this part 4?
This will be part 4, and
it's all relevant and pertinent stuff.
It sure is, and it's important to talk about if you really wanting to get serious, because the divorce rate keeps getting higher and higher, and I think you can make a beautiful life with a person if you really are on the same page. So having said that, we also have 2 segments on every single show, and one of them is our party with Miss Polly, with our professional licensed sex health therapist. Sometimes that's a mouthful.
That was
And
a mouthful.
our question of the day, which is always fun banter. So part 4 of the pre-marriage checklist is handling finances. Money, debt, and finances are important things to talk about before marriage.
Yes.
Bernie.
Very important.
So the number 1 point is, how do you feel about debt?
Like if they have it?
Yes.
I think it depends.
I do too. I think it depends.
It depends on what kind of debt you're talking about. If you're talking about,
what are you talking about?
$5,000-$10,000 in debt.
Oh, you mean the amount?
Yeah, like if they have a car debt or a house, that's not. I don't call that real debt.
Or student loans.
Like student loans, yeah, those are things that are real deals. When you get into, I don't think it's pertinent to dating. I don't think it's irrelevant, right? If they have for me, like I need to date someone who has a job, like a decent job, not because I need their income. That's what I want. I want someone who can bring something to the table. I think when you start talking about marriage, that's when it's really, really important. But I will say this. If I see they handle money horribly in dating, I'm not going to date them long because it's a telltale of how they do everything else.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to say, I bet it'll be a red flag as to how your life will go. Like spending your money or being like not smart about that in general. So I guess depends.
Yep.
I think the whole debt thing is a real issue here in this country. Like where I come from, even today, most of my friends don't even use credit cards. It's like whatever a lot of it is, what money they have, they can spend. Otherwise, no one like really goes into debt. It's not as a country itself, it's not a big issue. Here, it's like, credit cards and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it makes it so much easier, really, I feel like.
I used to use the credit cards and I would do the whole thing about the point system and so on and so forth. And if you're really good about paying your debt off at the end of the month, it's great, right? But, so I just use an American Express where I have to pay it off at the end of the month. So, because it keeps me in check, and there are points and benefits to American Express. So I like that. But I do think that when you're dating someone who just does not respect their money, that's a telltale of what it's going to be like no matter what.
Yeah.
Would you share all money with your spouse or split the money into different accounts?
I totally am a sharer. In marriage, I mean, in a relationship, no, I'm not going to share shit with you. I don't mean that. Like, there's no reason to.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be like a joint bank account. Is that how?
So I have something to say about that. I think it's really important, and I think it can be very helpful. I have actually read that somewhere before. I don't have it with me right now, but I think it's important that you, as a couple, talk about, like, maybe every person should have their own account as well.
So what does that look like?
That looks like, for instance, you decide and you come to an agreement.
Like, it's not secret.
It's not secret, but it's like come to an agreement, and I'm throwing out any number right now. Like, it depends, of course, how much money you make and how much income there is. But say $1,000 a month for him, $1,000 a month for her.
Like an allowance kind of deal?
It's not even an allowance. It's like that is the money that they can spend however they wish
That's
and however they
allowance.
want.
That's an allowance.
I don't know if that, I mean, whatever. I think allowance sounds stupid.
It does sound stupid. It sounds young.
But I'm just saying, because that way, like, you still keep your own unique personality, and your spouse doesn't always, oh my gosh, oh, well, she went and she just bought another Starbucks kind of thing. I'm just using it as an example. Or, how much did her hair cost? Oh my gosh. I think that can get very controlling. So I think to keep your identity, that's what I tried to say. I think it's good for the relationship. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
and you agree on that amount of money. Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. I guess when I was married and I was making really spectacular money when I was married, I just didn't care. I mean, I just saw it as one big account. There was not a part of me, because the way I looked at it is I was making so much money.
But see, if you make so much money,
no,
then it doesn't matter.
We had a budget, right?
Okay.
And so when we knew what our bills were and what went to savings, what went to the IRAs, what went to our personal accounts. And so if I didn't really care what my ex-wife spent money on, if it was going to be a big purchase, like over, I think it's like $1,000, I think, talk to me about it. But otherwise, I don't give a shit. Go shop, do whatever. Not like just blow a bunch, but like if it's going to be over $1,000 worth of just frivolous bullshit spending, she would at least give me a heads up on it. So at that point, I didn't really care. But people are differently, right?
No, they're different.
I'm
I know.
super generous. I'm just
no, that's really nice, though. What are your views on saving money?
It has changed dramatically as I've gotten older, because I have been on both sides where I've made a shit ton, and then I've been on the side where I did not have a shit ton. And I'm a major saver. And, I think and I'll say this as Americans, that's the only place I got to go, but I'll say it from what you said. The problem that people have nowadays is they think, and this is a fucking fact, they think if I can afford a payment, I can afford that. And that could be further for the fucking truth, because just because you make enough money to make that payment doesn't mean you can really afford
They're saying
that.
you're supposed to be able to pay it twice before you buy it.
But I almost think, you mean in full before you buy it?
I think
like if you're buying a $100,000 car, you should be able to buy it
I think the
payment.
You should be able to
that monthly bill.
But I also think right. Well, let's say that, right? That could be the way to look at it. But I think the smarter way to look at it is like, buy something that's reasonable. I mean, whether it's car or apartment or whatnot, but think more of what you can invest in. And that's the truth, because when you buy a car, when you buy a purse, or when you buy a house, or you're renting a house, all of that depreciates. Those are depreciating assets. Now, the house or the apartment, you don't even own that. So being able to live below your means gives you the freedom to, when you have those tough moments, have money in the bank to take care of your bills, or to have that. I mean, I have friends who invest in a lot of things, and sometimes they have opportunities, they have access to opportunities that I never would have had access to. And sometimes those investment opportunities ask for $50,000, $25,000, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to live below your means and be able to say, all right, I can scratch a check for 25 grand, and not be like, fuck, I got to borrow here to get that. But then you can potentially create more income down the road.
That's exactly how Patrick is. And I'm so glad Patrick's in charge of finances. I'm not good with money.
That has came with experience for me, from being stupid and buying a car that had a $1,200 car payment. And I can make the payment, I can afford it, but it didn't make any sense.
It makes so much sense to be smart like that. I mean, I've learned through him. I didn't know that that's what you're supposed to do. I had no idea. So I'm always like, wow, I'm just glad he handles money. I'm not good at it at all. But I'm also not like wasteful. Like, I don't just go out and spend crazy money either.
Yeah.
But that's the next question. What are your views on spending money?
Mine has changed from, it's different. So when you're making something like, let's just say I don't know. I think it's important to be respectful to money. I genuinely believe this now as I've gotten older, because just because you can make a payment doesn't mean you should make the payment, right? Doesn't mean that you should buy that. I think that there should be a methodical thought process, because here's the truth that most people don't think about. They think about from the standpoint of, like, I'm 42 and most people are in their 30s. They just think about, I want that Mercedes or that BMW or that whatever. Some people buy a Bentley, whatever. And the less money you have means the longer you have to work. I mean, it's just the facts, but no one thinks about that until they're trying to retire and they're like, fuck, I'm a quarter of where I should be and I'm going to have to work an extra 15 years to live. So I'm all about saving.
Patrick's the same.
Yeah, because I want to.
I like spending money.
But that's okay, though. The good thing is you have a partner who does all the right things that allows you to, he gives you, for lack of better, a budget to stay within. You're good about staying within that.
I am.
Right? And it doesn't make, and he provides so well, it doesn't make you feel like, I just wish I could do this. He gives you.
No, I'm respectful. I always say we're on a team. So, I mean, I would spend more money if I didn't feel this way. I'm going to be honest.
No,
I'm bad about it. I wouldn't be into saving so much money because I don't understand all that investment stuff. I'm just not good at it. It's just not my
good
my
thing you
strength.
got a partner who is. And I've heard him speak. He's like he's brilliant the way he talks.
Very, very smart.
Yeah.
So thank God he handles all that. I'm glad I don't have to.
Marcella?
I feel like I can't say much about any of this because I've never been married and nor have I dated anyone who we talk about this stuff at all.
True.
So I can't really say because right now it's just me, and I think that I feel like I'm a respectful person. So
one thing about Marcella and Gino, and hopefully Jolie, Patrick has taught them about money from a very, very early age, and he has guided them, and I'm grateful for him for that as well, because he has taught them. Neither one of them have ever had debt. They have always taken care of themselves.
I never got a credit card because I knew I was bad at paying things off. So
that's great. You still don't have them?
No,
I don't.
No
either.
shit.
I don't have one.
I don't either.
You've never had a credit card ever?
Mm-mm.
Do you have credit?
No, well, that's the problem is I don't have. Like Patrick was telling me, he goes, you need to at least get like a gas credit card or something.
You need to establish credit.
And I do. It's just I haven't. We talked about that like right before COVID, and I just have not gotten around to it now. But I mean, I have like things. I mean, I pay for things. I don't know if like where you live and stuff. My car. I don't know how that works, but I mean, I don't have a credit card. No.
I'm right there with you.
I
don't even have a bank anymore.
Oh, you don't?
Well, so I think,
wow.
I think definitely you should get a credit card.
Yeah.
Because it all comes down to being able to be respectful. That if you can live within the limits of what you know. So think about like even in American Express. In American, if you got a green card or an Optimum card or something like that, is just use that. But the challenge that people have with credit cards is but they start off
right
with like the true intention of like, you know what, I'm gonna pay it off at the end of the month, and the next thing you know, like, well,
I hate them. I tried it not too long ago again, and
what did Patrick say about it?
Well, he of course says, well, I just don't want it. I have a bank card.
Correct.
And I spend what I know I can spend. I don't want a credit card.
But you guys are linked together, so he's responsible that way, which is good, right?
Yes.
But that's great that you think that way. But you should
Yeah.
definitely, because eventually you're going to want to buy a house. Now, who knows if, whoever you end up marrying, I mean, probably going to have credit or all that stuff, but
Yeah.
you should have your own established credit card. So
Right.
you may consider getting, I say Amex because that's the one you have to pay off at the end of the month, the green
Yeah.
cards. And I think with that, the fact that you're structured that way and you're disciplined that way,
Yeah.
I think it's worth everything. Getting that
I'm
gas.
not disciplined that way, so I know that about myself.
Well-
so I don't want one.
What's that?
I don't want one.
Oh, she's not disciplined that way, she said.
I'm
but I
not.
think
But
that
Patrick wouldn't let you fall out of your discipline though, because he sees everything unless he wouldn't see that card.
But that's the point. I don't even want to have him
That's good.
say it. Like it's like
Yeah.
not even necessary. I don't
But that's
don't want
good.
it.
but
But that's
you
good you
talk
live
about
that
that
way.
before your relationship. So
right. Yeah.
I guess it just depends, and you have to know how somebody's finances are. Like, and this is why I don't have a lot to say here, because this is relationship finances, not personal.
What if we both want something but can't afford both?
Like you want this and I want that, and we can only pick one.
Yeah.
That's fucked up if y'all get to that situation.
Yeah,
where you're
no
like,
kidding.
oh, but I really want like. There has to be a give and take, I think. And I think
feel like most men are going to say you can have it.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like a manly man, like, are really going to fight with their woman. Like, no, I want, like,
you know what? Fuck you. I want it.
I feel like that would be like very odd for a guy. I feel like most men, if they're a good man, do make a sacrifice. Like, oh my God, she's my wife, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Let her have it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you guys, I mean, we're talking about after marriage, right?
Or before. This is before.
But then if it's before, then I just think it's irrelevant. I think leading up to how you guys handle is important. But at that point, so read that last question once again.
What if we both want something but can't afford both?
So I think that's a question for after marriage, right? And I'm just saying, because if we're dating.
But again, these are things that you start the conversation. So say you're at dinner.
But I see what you just said.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. Like, that was absolutely.
Which one?
But I'm saying, if you're dating a girl and you say that, that's a really sweet way.
Of what? Wait, so
what you said, because you said it's not a big deal. Like, she can have it.
Yeah, but I think, and I agree with Marcel. I think most guys would say that. But I also think if in dating, if there's something we both want, I'm gonna get what the fuck I want because we're not married. Hear me out for a second, because if you want something, go work your ass off and get it. I'll support you. I'm gonna give you a high five and tell you,
whatever. You're not gonna spoil your girlfriend
for sure. But that's different. We're talking. I think when it comes to, if we get to the point where we both want something and we can't afford it, first off, we have bigger problems than that, right?
Right.
But I think if it comes into, when I think about something like that question, I think of big purchases like a car, or I'm trying to wrap my head around what could you.
But I think that, remember what this is. It's like, if we're having this conversation, say you're with your boyfriend or whatever and you're at dinner, I think it's how everybody will react to the question. Like, you can read someone, like if I ask that question to somebody I'm with, like, hey, when we're married, if we both want something and we can't afford, what would you say? And if they're like, oh, I don't care, you can get the genuine reaction. Now, if their reaction is like, well, what do you mean? You're kind of like,
you get it.
You're like a red flag. I'm like, oh shit. Like, so when we're married, I guess, obviously, because we keep saying, well, obviously everyone's going to say the right answer. But I think sometimes you can't hide how you would react genuinely.
What if a family member wants to borrow a large sum of money?
No.
You can talk about that.
Oh yeah, I can.
No, I mean, I think it just depends, right? I think that if a family member wants to borrow some money because they're in hard times, I think that's different. If you have the means to help your family member out, I think you should. That's my 2 cents. Is it just like, hey, I'm lazy and I just, I really want to buy this car, and no, go fucking figure it out for yourself. But I think the circumstances depend on, if you see that they're really struggling. And
I mean, they find really struggling though, because I feel like everyone didn't get a second job. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we all work super hard and we all have made extreme sacrifices to get to a point where we are, and we have what we have. Why do I have to write you a big check because you are sitting on the couch and doing that?
Well, I think it all depends. That is one thing. I mean, I was watching Real Housewives of New Jersey, and the sister let her sister come live with her because she just got a divorce. And she was like, you can live with me. We'll help you out. We'll be here for you. And I think they helped her out financially. And it was all out of love. Like, that person was a good person. Like, I would hate to think that, God forbid, something happened in my life, I couldn't go to Gino. Like, what if something is going on? I can't ask my brother for anything if they're married.
No, but see, I guess you really redid the question there, because I guess, you have such a great relationship.
But I also think,
if someone that is not have a good relationship with.
Fuck off. That's how I feel. It depends.
Right, but that's why it's all depends.
I agree. I think it
all depends.
Your sister is a money hungry bitch. Stop giving her money. Like, that's different. But if you have a great relationship and it's loving and you want to help out. I mean, for instance, Patrick paid for everyone to go to Mexico because he wanted to, and you were fine with that.
I didn't get a trip to Mexico.
This is before we knew you on the show.
But that's because I knew that was something in his heart he really wanted to do.
Right.
And I also have always felt like he has been such an amazing stepdad that he has always supported you too. So then when he wanted
just
to
awesome.
when he wanted to take his family, I felt like that was a no-brainer for me because it was almost like I could almost pay him back like for everything
But
that he had
this is
done.
a good example of say you're at dinner with your girlfriend and you say maybe this question comes up, and what if I want to take my family on a trip, or if one of my siblings are in need, like, you know, how do you feel about if I help them out? And if she was like, fuck no, wouldn't you get a red flag? Like, why is this woman so selfish?
So with that being said, now I'm going, all right, I get what both y'all are saying. If it came to that situation, it's a total red flag, and that's just not someone I'd want to date. But,
Right.
But I
so
hear
you wouldn't marry them.
I'm thinking about, after the fact.
I know.
Because at that point,
This is pre.
and I keep forgetting, you guys can remind me, I think because I've been married before.
I
and
know.
I've had some of these kind of conversations, right? I think about when we're not married, if we're not married, your financial shit is your financial shit. What I choose to do with my money, if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But I mean, I'm not going to be a dick about how I do my money. I'm going to, if we're dating and there's a situation where someone I'm dating needs something and they can't afford it for whatever reason, I'd be willing to help out because I care. If it's the point where I care about them and I love them, you're going to help your person out, right?
Right.
But I think until you're to past marriage, and I know y'all would say it's pre, but I just think everyone has to be responsible for themselves.
You know what? As I'm listening and thinking, I'm like, I think it all depends so very much on the situation. Like if I think about my family, like my brother, my mom, no one has ever asked anything of us or
Right.
needed anything
Yeah.
from us. So if they came upon a situation where they needed something, oh my gosh, I would,
Right?
because
Yeah.
they have never, they're not those kind of people. And then you have, in the other side, there's people that just expect it. They are not doing their part and they are rude, disrespectful to us. And then they want, no, thank you.
Yeah,
You know
right?
what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
there's all these, yes, it depends so much on.
Yeah.
And I agree with you in the sense of your sister or whoever is just this money grubbing idiot bitch who just constantly has no value of money, doesn't really give a shit. They're just
Well, in the comment, like, well, you make a lot of money, so I should get some of it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh.
no.
No.
You're right, I do, but you should.
Like, even if I had money, I'm not going to give it to you. If you need help and I can help you, yeah, then I'll do that.
That's-
But
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
just going to be your
you can
bank.
find the money on your own.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Or
exactly.
be willing to, if it's a situation, and we'll move on, but if it's a situation where they can't afford a bill, like they're trying to figure out how to pay something, dude, I'll pay that bill. If
Yeah.
it's like it's utilities, car, you need some groceries, fucking let me go. Let's
But
go.
not just hand them the cash.
Correct.
Exactly.
But I agree with you 100. I agree with you 99% because I think there's that small situation where if it's not common for them to ask and they're in a really situation where they need something and that's not the norm, I think I'd be a little more apt to say, you know what, okay, that's fine. But here's what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't expect it back because
No.
it's fucking good as gone
Right.
when it comes to
Yeah.
a family member.
But then also, I wouldn't want to, like, if, say, a family member, they're doing good and everything is fine, but now they just want something extra. Like,
oh no,
they
fuck
want
that.
to remodel something in their home.
my
and now they
God.
want
You better
money
do a
from you.
home equity loan or
Exactly.
something.
I would not be up for that either.
No.
Not at all.
Or if you are sending your children to a special school because you think it's better, but you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. You have to work more. Right?
Absolutely.
So,
Public school for you, sir.
yes. Would you be willing to get a second job if we had financial problems?
I would hope the man would say yes that I'm dating.
I have to work multiple jobs just to sleep right.
Yeah.
To sleep right.
Would I be willing to get a second job? I mean, fuck. At that point, yes. So first off, yeah, if it came down to it, I was married, and responsibilities that way, yes. But my God, at that point, you're talking about. I'm going so sideways in the question, but at that point, you really need to reevaluate your financial situation of like what you're spending your money on. If you're at the point where you're really having to.
I think it's more saying, would you work hard for our family?
That is not what that thing said. It asked, would you get a second job?
Right.
That's-
And like for me, because none of the jobs I do generally take up a ton of time, I can do a bunch of stuff. you know?
Yeah,
But if you have
same.
something like one of you guys that you're doing the same thing all day long, there's might not be that room to do something else.
Exactly.
Dude, that was a really articulated way to say it. I mean, I think it's dependent. That's why I'm kind of pausing on initially saying anything because of how involved my job is.
Right.
That would be I try to figure out what other hours do I have in the day to make that happen. So you're going to get a job. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I guess it's situational, but yes, if it came down to supporting my family, fuck yeah, of course, absolutely.
That was actually something about her dad that was amazing. Like once the whole mafia thing fell apart and he was struggling, like he was humbled himself, went back to work like in a restaurant kitchen. Like it was really, It was very impressive. I think that's what this kind of question, like you have to have that belief that your future spouse will do something like that and not get so bogged down with like depression or whatever, that they're just sitting on the couch, because I've known of those people as well.
Yep.
But I've known of people for years and years and years and years. They lost their job and they can't find their footing again.
Yeah.
And that's very dangerous.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is pride.
Yeah. And
like
humility.
you don't want to take a job at McDonald's,
Yeah.
even though it will pay you money.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. On that note, I think it's time for Miss Polly question.
It's time
like
to
that was a
party
quick
with Miss
show.
Polly.
The modern day Dr. Reed.
What is car sex really like?
I miss Miss Polly. I
I
wish
do
we
too.
could have her.
Yeah, what's going on? When do you have her on?
Because you can only record on Saturdays and she works on Saturdays.
So,
All your fault, Courtney.
Marcella,
I'll be Miss Polly for now.
yeah.
Car sex is cramped, difficult, not as sexy as it sounds. Speaking from experience, both from a young perspective, college age, and an older perspective, roommate situation. When we are younger and more flexible, it was still difficult. Not to mention, if you get caught, there is the embarrassment, and I'm pretty sure it might be illegal. Really? It's also difficult to
Ticket or
find a
something, I think.
place that's a place that's deserted or doesn't have a lot of traffic. There are very few positions that are conducive to vehicles unless you drive a very roomy SUV with a big back seat or a van.
Go first, Marcella.
So we're talking parked though.
Are we talking parked? What is
Parked
it? The
cars.
question. Read the question again.
Well,
What is car sex really like?
what, Spider? What do you mean, car sex while driving?
Yeah,
road
that
head?
sounds- that
I've
sounds
had
fun.
car sex while driving.
Yeah.
I've had a girl straddle me while I'm driving,
What?
and I even came.
Head
It
on the
was
shoulder
awesome.
so you can still see.
No,
What?
No, yeah, no. It wasn't having the shoulder. I'm steering wheel's here. She's here. We are having sex. I'm driving. It has happened.
I would be way too scared to
We're on the
crash.
highway.
Oh my God.
It was awesome. It was. We weren't going fast. Cruise control was set. It was good. It
How did
wasn't.
you see?
Well, I mean, she's moved over a little bit. I mean, the thing is, her whole body wasn't like blocking the entire windshield, so I can look over her shoulder or something like that. But I've done the driving one once. I've gotten plenty of roadhead in my life for sure. I think most men have.
That was my nickname in college.
Oh my
I just learned more and more about you. Like,
Y'all
crazy.
remind me of a lot of things. So that's the thing. That,
Oh, that's funny.
a lot of this
amazing.
stuff I haven't
So
thought about
funny.
in years.
Oh my god!
I know, because there's stuff we're still learning about.
I
Spider.
know.
So, and then the
funny.
car I had before, I've had lots of parked car sex. I had an Escalade before this car I have now, and so I could fold the seats down and have sex, but it's still, because I'm a big guy, my head would hit the top. It was just nothing. It was great. The payoff was always worth the effort that went into it, but unless the car is turned on, you're creating extra heat, and so then it's just you're sweating, and then it's
I
whatever.
just don't understand car sex. I'm like, can't you go to a hotel?
No, but
Like
no,
a
but think about it.
5-star hotel.
So I dated a girl once, went to a concert. 5 stars. I dated a girl once, went to a concert. We were at Lava Cantina, and the show was over. We drank a bunch. We were handsy, and it was that thing where I was parked was in the corner part, and it was just like the horny moment. She was my
I think
girlfriend.
it's more like random.
Yeah, it's like a random thing.
planned.
So yeah, I mean, correct. So it's never been like, you know what?
Let's go have sex
Today-
in the car.
We're gonna go to the park. No, it's usually like a random, and you need to get it done. You're feeling the moment, and so fortunately, where we were at, there was like nobody was there, so we had internal, exterior like car sex. So the door was open, she's on the seat, I was outside. It worked out well in that way. No one. It was it was like 2:30 in the morning, so no one saw. But
yeah.
The cameras in the parking lot.
Yeah.
the cameras in the car, for sure, cameras in the parking lot saw.
Oh, yeah.
But at that point, I was hammered and I didn't give a shit. I was like,
Right.
He does
yeah.
not care
So,
who's watching
Yeah,
him today.
not at all. You can be a voyeur all you want.
He was over there performing.
But yeah, I mean, it's usually random, like,
Yeah, I don't think that
moments,
car sex is like, hey, tonight we're going in the car. Like, I think it's random for sure.
Yeah.
It'd
Yeah,
be
I
different
mean-
if you had like one of those old conversion vans or something that had carpet and bunk beds in the back.
Like a
Lord.
shagging wagon.
Shagging wagon.
carpet, yeah.
No, but I'll tell you this, like the situation where as a guy, a girl gives road head, like that's an awesome like surprise. Like it's good.
Makes
And then
sense.
yeah, it fucking makes great sense. Trust me.
But
it's
I guess
good.
it's different than car sex, though, which is what, we're
Car
not
oral
saying
sex,
what
it could be
is
the same thing.
roadhead really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a totally
people-
different question.
I guess
It's
so.
less dangerous for sure.
Have you had car sex before?
No, I don't think so.
Never?
Not that I know of.
God.
Like in the car, like
Yeah, I mean, just like same thing.
I don't think
Like
so.
random, you feel in the moment.
no.
Have you guys, you and Patrick ever? Yeah, I
No.
have totally. You dirty freaking unicorns. Y'all have sex
Okay,
everywhere.
question of the day.
The two posh girls ask the question of the day.
I'm trying to make sure I word this correctly or understand it. Should you know from the first date if you are attracted to them and into them and want to get to know them more with certainty?
1,000%. I can know in the first 2 minutes of seeing somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if there's like, I mean, there's just like a natural, for me, it's, when I was younger, it didn't really matter. As long as I knew I was going to have sex at the end of the night or felt
Right.
that, I didn't care. Now, as I've gotten older, like it just, I'm so big on organic chemistry. Like
Yeah.
it just has to flow because it doesn't matter. If it's someone who doesn't flow, even if they're really attractive,
Yeah.
I'm still not, I mean, I swear this is the truth. If they're really attractive but there's no chemistry, I don't even want to, there's not a part of me that's like, you know what? I'm still going to go have sex with this person. It's just, I don't
But
know.
what if, or maybe that's how you go into it, but would you still have a friendship with that person
Yeah.
and then see what could
Absolutely
happen?
no. And once it's out, it's out.
Really?
Yeah, and it's, I'm not arrogant to say like once they're out, they're out. They're just, if from the beginning,
Yeah.
there's not organic chemistry.
But what if after you get to know them, you're like
It'll
fall
never
in love
happen.
with them?
No, they don't ever. I mean, I may get to know them and say, you know what, I would have sex with this person, but I don't think it's just.
Sex.
Look, I can guarantee you 100% of the guys that are on this show that are listening.
Yeah, no, I
are
love
guaranteed
it.
me, and
So
99% of the women would agree with me.
do you expect sex after the first date? Do you feel like that's chemistry or no?
No. So,
Okay.
but here's the thing. I'm more open to wanting to have sex on the first date. I'm not we'll just wait. Here's the reason. True transparency. I'm a big believer in having sex on the first date. I'll wait. It's not a deal breaker if we don't. Because here's the thing. I think there's a sexual chemistry. If like someone's bad in bed, they're not good looking enough to make a relationship last because sex is really important.
Would you wait 3 months?
Fucking not on my hand. would
What
I
the
wait 3 months.
heck?
No, fuck no. No.
No.
Not even kind of. I wouldn't, I may give 2 or 3 dates because at this point where I'm at in my life, like I'm not playing games. I'm not trying to be the guy who's slutting myself around, although I just made myself sound like that. But at the end of the day, I want to know that everything.
I'm going to
that-
word this differently.
Word it differently. though.
Okay. You go on a date
Mhm.
and you have the most amazing chemistry
Yes.
with this girl.
And there's
She-
traction and everything.
Oh my gosh. And
Yes.
you love her personality. It's like your dream girl, okay?
Yep.
The total package. And she didn't have sex with you after 2 or 3 or 4 dates or 5 dates. Don't you feel like that would make you want her even more? Or you would be like, what the fuck?
Fair enough. That's a very fair question. Now, the thing is I think women do that when they're like, I'm going to make this guy wait to see how much he wants me. But the reality is, I make myself sound like such a dick, but it's just the facts of whether anyone wants to accept this information or not. This is the facts, how guys think. The reality is if you're making me wait 4 or 5 or 6 dates to do it, I don't know if I feel like there's games being played.
But what if they're not making you wait? That's just who they are. Like they're a classy
Right.
woman.
There's nothing wrong with that. But
Not saying that people are doing that are not
no,
classy.
I get it.
just
I
mean,
get
like,
it. I don't know. I totally get what you're saying. That's just their inner beings.
I think they're not classy.
See, but you're a girl. You don't count because.
Oh, I do come.
But you don't count. Here's why you don't count. You're not the one dating him. And so, if for me, I get your opinion. I get it. You're not really judgmental, so that's why it doesn't. You saying
I'm
that
not judgmental
at
at all.
all.
I don't care if people have sex after 10 minutes when you meet each other. That's not my point. I don't care what they do, but
I feel like, honestly, if you would always wonder, and then you might always end up going back to that situation. Or maybe.
What do you mean about dating them?
And it's not a game, though.
Correct.
Yeah,
There's none about it that's a
I
game.
don't want to have sex with someone that I don't know. So
And that's
I
okay.
have never, ever, ever, never did, nor would I ever.
But that wouldn't work for you.
But no. But think about it this way. You're saying everything flows per
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this girl is amazing. For me, by default, if everything lines up, we're all on the same page, she's going to want to have sex with me just as much by the second or third date as I am. But that also
No.
yes.
No,
Yes.
absolutely no. No,
Fact.
no, no,
Yes.
no,
I wouldn't.
no,
So
no,
anyone
no,
listening,
no.
I would not hold
No.
out for someone who's going to like
No.
to me, because here's the deal.
I would not.
5 or 6 dates. Like, I just think for me, sex plays such, it's not the only thing. I know that I have been married before and I realize intimacy fades, looks fades. I've dated plenty of people, but for me, I need to know sooner than later if they're good in bed, if they like to give head, if they are bad at it, if they're horrible in bed, do they take care of themselves? Are they, what do they look like naked? Because here's the deal. Physical attraction for me is going to be determinant if I can actually have sex with someone, get it up, all that. It's the truth. They can have a beautiful personality and they can be exteriorly great. But if I'm not attracted to them naked, we got an issue. And that's full
what
transparency.
if I just feel like there's going to be a girl who comes into your life that everything about her that when she takes her clothes off, you're going to be attracted because it's something about that person.
With that being said, I'm not shut off to that.
Right.
All I'm saying is like how I think of it now.
So
I've yet
far.
to
I'm
find
actually horrified
why.
and shocked
Why? Tell me.
that you have that many women that will have sex with you so fast. I cannot believe that this is even a
It's
thing.
the truth. The women
I know.
women are just as horny as guys
That
are.
is
For sure.
absolutely unbelievable
It's
to
not.
Yeah,
me.
so
That's
it's
true.
not. She's not horrified with you. She's horrified
No,
with the
I'm
women.
horrified
No.
about the women,
Well,
not
but
you.
that's the
I
thing,
know
not-
you want sex every 5 seconds.
Not
I know
every
men,
girl that I go
I
out
know
with.
men think about sex what is it? Every 3 seconds
Women
or
are
something
just
stupid.
as dirty as guys are, and
It
just
has
as
nothing to do with
sexual
being
as that.
dirty.
So tell me your rationale on it. Like, what's your?
I mean this from the bottom of my
Tell me.
heart. I believe that if you are dating someone, you have to get to know this person. I'm not gonna just sleep
my
with
mom.
you.
So my
Having
mom says
sex-
that exact thing.
having
She's like,
sex-
why don't you get to know them?
See,
I mean,
she raised me,
having
and I'm
sex with
exactly like
someone-
that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Having sex with someone is like you take a sticky tape. So now you have sex with this person. They're somehow connected to you forever. You have sex with all these people. That's insane. I, as a woman, don't want that. I
Yeah,
don't
I
want all
think-
that crap sticking to me,
No, I
sticking
hear
to
what you're
my
saying.
soul, sticking to my heart, sticking to my inside. No, I don't want
I hear what
any
you're saying
of it.
completely.
I want to actually, literally, really fall in love with this person.
Yeah.
In love,
Yeah.
not in lust. There's a difference.
No, for sure. And I think it's possible to
And
fall
I
in
cannot
love with
believe there's that many
I do
people
believe
out there.
you can fall in love with someone after having sex with them the second or third time. I don't think that's going to
No.
be. Yes, I don't think that's
And-
a telltale of you had sex on the second or third date. Y'all aren't
It
gonna
does
last.
happen,
but
yes.
it's rare.
You're correct.
But also, I agree when you both are going into it, like the girl is just as horny as the guy. Shouldn't give a fuck either. I totally have casual sex all day, but it's not for everyone. Like, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was laughing when you were talking about like the penis thing. Like, I might look a certain way, but my behavior.
You sure look like a slut. It's just everything.
how I
That's what it
dress and the vibe I give off, maybe. But I've always said I have to be in a relationship, so I would not. I won't. I mean, and it's different, right? So because maybe relationships start pretty fast, which might be my issue. But now saying that,
I love you. I love you. Let's date, please. Let's date, please.
so, but I can tell you, it's never been after 3-4 dates. Like, I don't know. Especially, I guess with me, it's a little bit harder. Like meeting new people,
Mm-hmm.
I am like terrified. Like, it freaks me out. Like, I would never go home with somebody.
Well, I'll tell you this. Dating is different now. It's just for me. Dating is so different because, I mean, you just. feel like there's way more jaded people, and
Probably.
right. And I mean, but thing as we age, we get different life
More jaded,
experiences.
yeah.
We get more jaded because of shit show stuff and people doing us bad and doing us over and all that. But for me, that the sex part plays such a role for it because
And
I've
it
been
should.
But for
It
me
should-
too.
It should.
I hear you.
Huge.
But the thing is that it just for me, maybe I'll meet some special somebody who I'm like, you know what, this girl is so unique. I'll wait.
But don't you think that whoever you meet and you fall in love with her, the sex will be amazing?
No,
'Cause
that's
you-
not how it works. Y'all are wrong. Let me assure you, y'all are wrong. I can say it. I'll bet my
Have
only.
you ever waited long
I would
enough? You
bet-
haven't even waited.
No,
You
no, no.
don't know.
So here's think about this. Think about this, right?
showing it so
I know. So think about this, right? So I get what you're saying.
sweating.
So what y'all are saying is,
Hot.
let me recap it and tell me if I'm at least saying what you guys are saying.
Okay.
So you take some time, you get to know the person intimately, not physically, but intimately, and you guys connect, right? You connect on an emotional
And
level.
the kissing is
The
amazing.
kissing's
You can kiss
great.
all day.
And so what happens? And let's say your date's 8,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
right? So it's time where you guys have decided after date 5 or 6. You know what? Why don't we just date each other? And let's say after date, let's call it 7.
Okay.
So date 8, you guys go out. You guys have decided you're going to be official.
So that
right?
could potentially be only 2 weeks into it.
Fair enough. Let's say that. Let's say it's 2.
Potentially.
Let's say it's 3 weeks. It doesn't matter. Let's for this example, let's say it's a month. You've waited a month. It's date 7. It's so great. It's so organic that you decide, you know what? Oh, I love the way he kisses. I love the way he rubs the back of my neck. I love when we're walking, the way he holds my hand, he rubs my thumb, little things like that. And you're like, this is fucking legit. But what happens on date 8? I'm playing devil's advocate to this.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Date 8, you go out and you guys are going to be intimate. And then you go down and you guys start having sex, or you're about to start having sex, and he gets naked and he's super untrimmed. Hear my stupid analogy, right? It's funny, but you don't know.
date
Hold on,
8 is too early.
Stop. So let's say whatever number makes it to where it works for you. What day? It's 20? Let's say it's date 20.
I don't know.
Okay. But let's say that for this example,
Just go with
we
this
have
example.
waited.
Yes,
And you are
we have
agreeing-
waited.
We have waited, and you have agreed that it's an appropriate time. Your boyfriend and girlfriend, y'all are official. You're connected on an emotional level, and then you wait, and you guys are naked. The lights are off, and you get a chance to start exploring. You find out the guy he's got a massive unmanicured bush, and he has a small penis. Hear me out a second. You've waited the appropriate time. You've committed that you're going to be his girlfriend and boyfriend, and then you get there, and you're like, well, fuck. This is a bad situation because he has a small penis or he doesn't shave down there.
Then you don't love them enough, and it's
No. But no, we didn't talk about love. We talked about into the relationship.
I do not think that you wouldn't know that because you can tell by how a person is,
No.
how they present themselves.
No.
Absolutely, you can
That's
tell.
wrong. You're wrong.
No,
You've been
I'm
married
not
too
wrong.
long to count on
No.
this one. No, I'm telling you
But
from being
I
single.
can tell. I have never had that, like a
You
rant.
would know if they have no hygiene and don't take care of themselves.
Okay, so maybe you
Some people
haven't-
could no. Some people could. It doesn't mean that to be like a stinky, funky fest down there. They could. Some people who just
Stinky, funky
don't trim
fest.
themselves, but you can't tell by looking at someone and connect someone if they have a small penis or not, or you can't tell if they come in 60 seconds. You have no idea because we both know all the stories. We've heard stories. There's science behind it that some men just come quickly, right?
Okay.
So what if you go into a situation where this is your boyfriend, you love this person, y'all are 20 dates into it, and you're like, I fucking love this guy. We're gonna have sex. We are gonna go all the way, and then you go all the way, and you get down there.
Wait.
He has great hygiene, but you go in there, the guy is unmanicured for whatever reason. Some guys they don't know any better. Some don't know any better.
Well, then we'd probably talk about
but
it.
what? Yeah, I mean, but why would you talk about it? It's
Be like,
y'all
what?
are,
I
y'all are in
mean,
love.
It's just about
Hold on.
shaving.
Okay, but what about if he has a 4-inch a 4-inch penis and he comes in 60 seconds? You can say whatever you want. Sex. You're fortunate, Patrick, and you have a great sex life. But the situation is, you love him so much. You think you love him so much, but then you get in there and you're like, fuck, this guy's a small. You're talking to your friend, just like you told me. You just said a second ago. Your friend said, I did this guy. He had a 4-inch.
I'm
whatever.
telling you, I feel like you know.
You can't possibly
You
know.
can know.
You can't know if
You
someone has a
can
big
know.
dick or not.
Oh, hold on. if you've been making out, you've probably been touching around. Like I'm sure there's stuff happening.
Y'all are wrong.
Yes,
you're wrong.
You can know.
This is the first time I will ever say y'all are so wrong on this.
No,
you know what we need? I would love it if anybody is listening. Hopefully you are. That if this has ever happened to you, because I don't know one person from experience. I don't know of one, and I know a lot of people, and maybe they're just not telling me.
Oh, you mean somebody else?
I was like, wait, what? Now, the girl who dated the micro penis guy, I'm sure she was with him like that. I'm not passing judgment, but I know what this was about.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying I want to know of somebody who has fallen madly in love with somebody so passionately, and then when the sex happens, they immediately were like, "Oh my God, I can't."
Okay, I actually want to know if someone that doesn't even happen anymore, because it seems like everyone just goes and have sex. I am very concerned about.
We got a topic for a few shows.
Yes, we do. We need to have someone tell me, please, you're still waiting.
But I think,
and it's not playing games. It does not. It is actually so amazing.
There's no romance about that.
But I think
romance.
But I think it depends on every situation. You can be a girl and you want to go through a whore phase, hoe phase, whatever the fuck. I don't care what it is.
Fine.
You want to bang everybody, go do it. I am not judging you at all.
I don't either.
If you're a woman, okay, and you want to meet that man, because I don't know of a girl who's not going to tell you they don't want to meet the man of their dreams, whatever. I tried to tell this to certain friends of mine. I said, stop sleeping with them so fast. They are losing interest in you like that. You are just a fuck buddy to them, because then they tell me, they're like, I don't understand, like he doesn't call me anymore, or he just invites me over for just sex. And I keep saying, stop fucking them like the first date. Like there's so many beautiful women, and men can just fuck whatever.
I'll give you credit for what you just said, for sure. So I'll give credit to this particular part, this small smidge of the conversation. So typically, I'll lose. There's some people who, like every girlfriend that you guys have known, I've had. And I slept with them like date one, and it lasted for a little while. And then other factors why it didn't work out. But there have been a couple girls that I've slept with that, it was okay. I found it quicker, it was okay. And so, but I lost interest quicker. But for me, so I get what you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. But I also think that for me, I'm glad I got a chance to understand that sex was going to be mediocre.
You just haven't met the right
I
girl
was
yet.
just about to say that. I feel like a woman will come into your life. She's going to blow you away.
Haven't met the right one yet.
And it's not going to matter if she
I'm okay for that. I'd be glad to meet that amazing
because you
woman.
won't be able to stop thinking about her, and it's not going to matter if she hasn't had sex with you in 2 weeks. Like I think that then when you do have sex with this person, it'll be amazing, because the theories you're giving are so crazy. That's never happened.
But the theories I'm giving are real theories that I promise you, most men, they may not, just like we talk about the hang-arounders, they're like, oh, I would never do that to you. And da, da, da. I promise you, most guys think this way.
Spider, have you ever waited?
Sure.
Oh, he said,
shut up, Spider.
I was in high school.
He's like, I wasn't done with that sentence.
That's so funny. Well, you know what? I would welcome to find that girl that makes me say, I'll wait.
You haven't met her. I'm telling you, you have not met her, because I know you now. I feel like I know you so well. I feel like if you met someone that you could literally see actually marrying again,
I agree,
and everything goes so well that
you're
you
head over heels.
Yes.
I would love that. I'll be honest with you. Like I think the way I think, because it's the only way I have to think, right? It's the only thing, right? But if I found someone that there was an organic connection, and I'm wanting to have sex, I'd want to have sex no matter what. And there was something about them that were like, okay, I'm realizing, because I've never pushed sex on anyone. It usually just flows that way, right? But if it was someone that there was this amazing organic connection that I'm like, God, this chick is gorgeous. She's fucking amazing.
And you find yourself thinking about her constantly.
But she's not going to give it, but she's not giving it up.
Yeah.
But I'm still so ingrained. I'm down for finding something like that. I just have never found
I know you haven't found it. You just haven't met your soulmate yet, because I've
met only my soul sluts.
That's exactly right.
One day you will, and I cannot wait to go back to this, because
I'm down for that. All right, any listeners who want to be my soul, please do.
I'm telling telling you, there's somebody special. It's just
Yes,
and
I agree.
They won't sleep with you on the first.
We need
date.
to do a show. We need to do a show.
We still need to
We
do
still
that.
need the show.
We have to go back to that.
I would say though, anyone that listens to the show and then comes hollering at you, like they're a real one because they listen to the show.
I know what a slut
We
Bernie
all,
is, but we love
we
him.
all at different moments have said some like really real shit, and you're like, "Whoa, I can't believe I just said that."
It's true.
It is true, actually.
That's so funny.
That's true. Well,
All
that was a
right.
great ending.
Question
That
of
almost
the
feels-
day.
that
please.
almost feel like that went to
Oh,
a-
that was the
Yeah.
I almost feel like that went to a separate
but it
show.
No, it was Miss Polly.
No, that was
That
question
was
of
the
the
question of the
Oh,
day.
it was. Oh my God.
Did we just do a separate show at the end of the question of the day?
I'm pretty sure the 2 questions were just as long as the rest of the show.
Oh my
Funny.
goodness.
Oh my
So
gosh.
thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Subscribe,
All
subscribe,
right.
subscribe.
Yes,
Tell
please
your
listen
friends.
on every platform.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.